Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another session of DevOps. Today, we'll see the introduction part of DevOps for the new joiners. And again, after that, we'll see the cloud computing part. Okay, what is cloud computing and why do we need cloud computing in today's IT world? Okay, so for the new joiners, whoever has joined newly today, just want to introduce myself. My name is Venkatesh, and I have 8+ years of experience, and I have worked for companies like Capgemini, Wipro, currently working for TCS, and so I have taken several DevOps interviews and trainings for the freshers in my previous companies. Okay, so let's give me confirmation that you guys are able to hear me properly. There is no lag or there is no audio issues. Can you guys confirm that? Am I audible? Uh, can anyone can confirm that? Am I audible clearly? Okay, fine. Thanks, Samra. So let's continue. So I'll not take much time for the introduction part. So guys, we are learning DevOps here. So every organization in IT industry, every organization will try to launch its product as soon as possible into the market. Okay, so this is a small example. These companies were launched in the year 2005, 2006. Okay, and these companies were launched in 2010. So even though these companies were launched in 2005 and 2006, these companies had a 5 years of gap before these companies were launched. But still, these companies are market pioneers. Okay, these companies are pioneers in the cab industry in India. Okay, so what made these companies to become number one? Okay, first of all, their approach. What they did, they have introduced app. Okay, Android and iOS, and at that time, 2010, they had BlackBerry as well, right? BlackBerry and Windows. So they have launched the apps for different operating systems. Okay, and people started using people started using smartphones, and they have installed these apps, and they started booking cabs from these Android apps. Okay, what are the apps they had? Okay, so what happened actually? People found it very easy, convenient, and it was it was very easy to book the cabs when compared to the traditional method of these companies. Still, even after 5 years, these companies were following the traditional method of calling the customer care and booking the cab. So, which was a very hectic job for customers, right? So, what I'm trying to say here is every company has to change according to according to the customer's requirement, according to the people's demand, right? So each organization will try to launch its product as soon as possible, and they will be trying to deliver the product into the market as soon as possible so that they can gain they can attain maximum number of customers. Okay, they can get maximum customers market. Okay, so in order to achieve maximum customers, okay, in order to get maximum number of customers, what each organization will do, they will set some organization goals. Okay, so what are those goals? Every organization will try to deliver the product into the market as soon as possible. Okay, so that they can achieve maximum market share, right? So higher quality of the product, whatever the product they are launching into the market, they'll be trying to deliver with a high rate of quality. Okay, without good quality, no product will be surviving into the market, right? Yeah. The next point is less expenditure. What are the product, what are the, whether it's a software product or it's a app or whatever it is, if they are trying to deliver the product into the market with less expenditure, which means that they will gain maximum amount of profit, right? The fourth one is minimized outages and losses. Okay, if their if their server is down, okay, whatever the application is running, that product will be down, right? And whoever the customers are trying to access that product or application, they'll be unable to reach that application, right? So again, ultimately, it is causing loss to the company. Okay, so whenever a company is trying to launch a product or already it has launched a product into market, what whenever there is a outage, if they try to minimize that outage time, okay, so what will happen? They are indirectly they are reducing the loss to the company. Okay, so every organization will try to see that outages are minimized. Okay, fine. So each software development company, okay, in every software development company, we have these software development lifecycle stages. Okay, stages. So this is like sample. This is a sample picture, and so in each software development lifecycle, in short, we call it as SDLC. Okay, software development lifecycle. So first, a idea is taken, then what are the requirements, what kind of engineers, what kind of tools has to be used, or what will be the target period, okay, in how much time it has to be developed. All those requirements will be gathered, then the designing will be started. Okay, designing of the product, and the main important part, the development of the product. Okay, the development, the programming guys will start writing the code, then the code will be tested, and after that it will be deployed onto the testing and production environment, and finally it will be monitored and maintained. Okay, so these are different stages of a software development lifecycle. Once all these things are done, the product is handed over to the client or customer. Okay, customer will start using the product, they'll give us the feedback or whatever the issues they are facing, or if they have any enhancements to be made to the product. Okay, and again, whatever the feedback is there, right, it will be taken back, and again the cycle will go on. Okay, so whatever the feedback is there, right, the development team will take that feedback, they'll start writing a new code for that bugs or issues or enhancements. Again, the code will be tested, deployed, and maintained and monitored. Okay, so this is a continuous process. Software development lifecycle for a particular product is a continuous process. Now comes the why exactly we need DevOps. Okay, so development team, okay, so whenever they are introducing a change into the existing code. Okay, existing code means existing product, whatever the product is already there, based on the feedback from the customer or whatever the changes they find that it is required to be done. Okay, for fixing the bugs or fixing the issues or adding some new features. Okay, whatever the changes they do in the existing source code of the product. Okay, so it causes a little bit of problem to the operational team guys. Now, who are operational team guys? Network administrators, IT system admins, DB admins, all these guys comes under operational team guys. Why do these guys have problem? Because they have to create a lot of change requests, they have to create a lot of documents. Okay, they have to sit with the customer, they have to test the new code will work in different environments or not. Okay, all these things has to be taken care by the operational team, which is a very hectic and tedious task. Okay, so that is why operational team guys are always against the changes. Okay, they don't want changes to happen to the existing working code, but development team want to, always the development team will want to introduce the new changes into the code. Okay, so what is happening here? These guys don't want change. Okay, these guys don't want change, and development team guys, these guys want to introduce change. Okay, so what is happening? One guy is against the change, and one guy is the development team guy wants to introduce the change. So this creates a gap between the development team and operational team. Okay, this is creating a gap between the development team and operational team. Okay, so for bridging that gap, for fixing that gap between the development team and operational team, we a new technology, a new methodology was created, a new process was created, which we call it as DevOps. Okay, DevOps. Now DevOps, dev is taken from development team, ops is taken from operations team. Okay, operations team. Okay, so dev is taken from development team and ops is taken from operation team. So in short, a DevOps engineer is a person who will be working to, one second guys. Samra, is it fine now? Are you able to see the screen? Is it fine now? Are you able to see? Okay, let me know if you're still unable to see properly. Okay. Yeah. So what I was trying to say, the development team wants to introduce the change, and operational team doesn't want to introduce the change because they have to work with the client. They have to test the new change with the in different environments. They have to file the documentation part. They have to raise change requests, incidents. Okay, all this tedious tasks, all this hectic work has to be taken care by the operational team. So that's the reason operational team doesn't want to introduce changes into the existing source code. So there is a gap between the development team and operational team. Okay, so in order to fix this gap, in order to bridge this gap, a new methodology, a new process was introduced, which we call it as DevOps. Okay, DevOps. Now Dev stands for development and Ops stand from operations. Okay, so basically a DevOps engineer is a person who will be working with development team and operation team. He'll be collaborating, he'll be coordinating with development team and operation team, so that what are the gap is there, right? What are the change, what are the difference is there, those differences, those gaps are addressed by the DevOps engineer. Okay, so how exactly he's going to address those changes? Okay, so DevOps engineer will be having knowledge in scripting knowledge. Okay, he'll be having scripting knowledge. He'll be having experience with different tools, DevOps tools. He'll be having some automation techniques. Okay, automation. So basically, a DevOps is a person who is very good with scripting. He has worked with different DevOps tools, and he should be having idea on automation techniques. Okay, so what he will do, he will use this. The DevOps person will use this skill set. Okay, in order to introduce automation at various checkpoints of a software development lifecycle. Okay, so ultimately what is going to happen, what are the change, what are the gap is there, right, between development team and operational team? Those gap will be addressed, and ultimately the company will be able to deliver the product to the customer at a faster rate. Okay, clear, right? So what kind of tools a DevOps engineer is going to learn? These are the some of the sample tools. Okay, some of the sample tools for different stage. Okay, as I told you, there are like different stages in software development. This is one stage, this is one, this is one. Okay, release, deployment, operation, monitor, and planning. Okay, so there are like different tools in software development lifecycle. For each stage, different tools are there. Okay, different different tools are there in the market. Okay, so basically DevOps engineer should have at least knowledge in one tool per stage. Okay, there is no rule that he has to learn everything, because that will be like very, it is going to take a lot of time. So at least one tool per stage has to be aware of by the DevOps engineer. Okay, so these are some of the sample tools. There is no rule that each company should use these tools only, but these are the most famous tools which are being used currently. Okay, remember that. Now, told you, right, what exactly DevOps engineer is going to do. He's going to have a knowledge. Okay, he's a person who will be having knowledge in software development life cycle. He'll be working, he should be having good knowledge in automation tools. He should be having knowledge in, okay, developing the continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. Now what is continuous integration and continuous deployment? We are going to address that. We are going to learn that in the coming classes of our DevOps course. Okay, we have something called Jenkins. Okay, in Jenkins tool we are going to see what is continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay, now a DevOps engineer, a day-to-day activities, what he'll be doing on a day-to-day basis. So he'll be maintaining the CI/CD pipeline, DevOps pipeline. He'll be he'll be building and maintaining servers, okay, using Jenkins and Nagios. Okay, so he'll be working with the operation team to fix the bug fix issues and all. Okay, he'll be diagnosing the build failures and all. Okay, and he'll be working on engineering and architecture enhancements. What are the infrastructure is there on AWS or Azure or physical server? He'll be trying to use Ansible or Chef in order to do the configuration changes of those servers. Okay, So these are like some of the sample tasks which a DevOps engineer will be carrying out on day-to-day basis. But there is no rule that he has to do. I mean, there is no rule that these tasks should be carried out in each and every organization. Okay, this may change as per the project and company requirements. Okay, remember that. But most of the companies will be having DevOps engineer who will be doing these activities only. Okay. Now remember one thing. DevOps is not a tool, guys. Okay, a lot of people say that it's a tool, but it's not a tool. It's a process. Okay, it's a methodology. Okay, and in today's world, cloud computing has become very important. Okay, because a lot of companies are migrating their infrastructure from physical servers to cloud servers. Okay, cloud infrastructure. Why? Because they want to cut down the cost. They don't want to maintain those servers. Okay, in cloud computing, all the infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud computing service provider. Okay, for example, if you are hosting your servers in AWS will be taking care of the that particular servers. All the health check and all will be carried out by the AWS service provider. Okay, so in that way, companies are cutting down the cost involved in physical servers. Okay, they are cutting down the manpower which is required to maintain the physical servers and all, right? So ultimately, what is happening? They are saving a lot of money, right? So in order to save that money and all, okay, a lot of companies are hiring cloud computing engineers. For that reason, we are going to learn AWS as well. Okay, AWS up to introduction level. Okay, the introduction level, how much it is required for a DevOps engineer, that is what we are going to learn here. Okay, and then freshers and experienced can switch to DevOps. Okay, in today's world, DevOps is such a technology. People from different backgrounds like telecom, banking, financial, and marketing, many people switch from other domains to DevOps. Okay, they can learn easily what are the tools are there, what are the skill set, what are the automations techniques are there, right? That can be learned, and they can switch to DevOps, and they can enhance their career. Okay, so here in DevOps we are going to learn Linux. Okay, if you guys are aware of Linux, fine, or else don't worry, we are going to cover Linux from a basic scratch level. Okay, so there are like multiple job opportunities in the market. Okay, and if you just go to naukri.com or LinkedIn, you can check it out. There are like multiple DevOps job opportunities both in India as well as in abroad. Okay, so what tools we are going to cover? Okay, we are going to cover these tools. Okay, Linux fundamentals from basic level, and after that we'll be seeing AWS as well. Okay, introduction to AWS, why AWS is important. EC2 service, entire EC2 service we are going to see. Auto scaling concept, load balancer, and Git for version controlling, Docker for containerization, Ansible for configuration management, Jenkins for continuous integration, and Maven for continuous build operations, and CloudWatch and Nagios for monitoring. Okay, this is a AWS service. Okay, CloudWatch is a AWS service. These two services, okay, these two services are, my screen is not showing. Guys, are you guys able to see my screen, or only Raju? Firangi Raju, are you able to see my screen now, or is it for everyone? Is my screen visible? Okay. Raju, I think the problem is from your end. Can you please rejoin the meeting once again? Because the rest of the people are saying that they can see. Okay. Please check it out whether there is a problem from your end or not. If yes, try to rejoin the meeting once again. And we were trying to discuss here, yeah, so CloudWatch and Nagios. Okay, so these are like monitoring tools which we are going to see. And Chef, again, Chef is a configuration management tool. Okay, it is a configuration management tool, alternative to Ansible. Okay, this is also we are going to see. And finally we will be seeing Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes for container orchestration technology. Okay, apart from this, we'll be seeing a basic level of Python scripting. Okay, see, Python is a programming language. Okay, the entire course for learning Python is like around 60 days. Okay, so it is impossible for me to teach DevOps as well as Python. Okay, for that reason, what I'm going to give you, I'm going to teach you Python introduction part, which is required for a DevOps engineer. Okay, so that at least you will get an idea how to write the automation scripts and all. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn here, guys. These are the tools which we are going to learn. So in order to start our class, you guys need a laptop with AWS account setup. Okay, we are going to host our servers in AWS. Okay, so you need a AWS free tier account, and I will tell you how to create a free tier account and all. And apart from that, we'll be needing putty and puttygen. So these are like SSH applications which are required for connecting to the Linux servers. So please get these applications installed on your laptop. Okay, and I'll be providing you these things. Okay, first I will give you the theoretical knowledge, then I will show you the practical knowledge. I will apply that theoretical knowledge into the practical, and after completing of each and every tool, I'm going to provide you the interview question and answers, and also the material in the Word document. I'll provide you the material, what are the content which I'm showing you in theory, and if required, or if you guys are interested, I will take a mock assessment as well at the end of the each tool. And finally, at the end of our DevOps class, I'm going to take resume preparation as well. Okay, I'm going to give resume preparation and tips as well for your job interviews. Okay, so any doubts until now? What is DevOps, and what exactly we are going to learn here in these classes? So for the new guys, okay, I know that some of the I mean, Samra and Saima, okay, I know that you guys have already joined. For the rest of the guys, I'm telling you this. We will be joining 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. daily from Monday to Friday. Okay, Monday to Friday. Our DevOps course is for 60 days. Okay, usually it will take around 55 to 58 days. Okay, but I just take 60 as the round figure. 60 days it is going to be completed. Okay, and any doubts until now with respect to the course or anything? So I'll share you the DurgaSoft contact number, email address. So what you guys can do, you can talk to them for any course related queries, for fees details and all. Okay, and each recording, okay, every day our class is going to be recorded, and that recorded session is going to be uploaded into the Google Drive. You guys will be having the access to that Google Drive. You can view that video once again if you have any doubts, and in that Google Drive we'll be uploading the material, the content, the interview questions, the resumes and all these things will be uploaded in that Google Drive. You can download them, you can start reading them and practicing them. Okay, any other doubts with respect to the course? If everyone is fine, then we can go ahead and we'll start our introduction to cloud computing. Okay, any doubts, Pramod, Rohit? Do you have any doubts? No doubts, Pramod? Rohit, do you have any doubts? Any doubts from your end, Samra or Saima? So I see Raju has joined once again. So Raju, do you have any doubts with respect to the course content and all? So there's a question, is the recording will be downloadable? The answer is no, because they have some copyright restrictions somewhere, but you can see the video whenever you want, and I mean there will be no restriction. Okay, that video will be uploaded and it will be available only for like 30 days or 60 days, nothing like that. You can view that video whenever you want, okay? But the video will be not downloadable because they have some copyright issues and all. So you have to talk with the management for checking that, okay, that option is available or not. Please check with the management once, and try to contact them and try to ask them whether that video is downloadable or not, okay? Not pretty sure with the answer. And any other doubts, guys? Understood, right? What exactly we are going to learn here, and what is my way of teaching, what exactly I'm going to provide you guys. So if yes, fine, we'll start our first topic, introduction to cloud computing. So the new guys, Firangi, Raju, Pramod, Rohit, if you guys are interested, please share your mobile numbers. I'll add your mobile numbers into the WhatsApp group, our DevOps class WhatsApp group. In that WhatsApp group, we are going to discuss about any doubts or the class information, if the class is cancelled or if class is going to be completed and all, and doubts can be shared in that WhatsApp group. All those things can be done, okay? So if you guys are interested to join this course, you can share your mobile number and we can start, okay? So that's it for the introduction part of our DevOps. I'm starting the introduction part of cloud computing. If you have any queries, please stop me and you can ask. Okay, so first I have to tell you one thing. So, am I right? One second. Yeah, here we are learning DevOps. So DevOps has tools. Okay, all these tools are in Linux. Okay, basically in real time, lot of the servers which we are going to work as a DevOps engineer, all the servers will be mostly in the Linux platform. Okay, mostly in the Linux platform, all the servers will be there. So in order to learn Linux, okay, so in order to work on these Linux servers, we need to learn Linux first. Okay, Linux first. Okay, so understand the flow. We are learning DevOps here. A lot of the DevOps tools will be in Linux platform. Okay, in real time, a lot of the servers which we are going to work, all will be in the Linux operating system. In order to learn Linux, okay, in order to learn these tools, we need to learn first Linux first. Okay, we need to learn Linux first. Some people call it as Linux, some people call it as Linux. I prefer Linux. You can call it Linux or Linux. It's up to you. Okay. Now, in order to learn Linux, what we need Linux server, right? We need some system where we can execute the Linux commands, right? So where can we get that Linux server? Okay, so for that reason, we're going to learn AWS. Okay, AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Okay, so Amazon Web Service, we are going to learn first AWS. Okay, and in that AWS, we are going to launch AWS server. Okay, which we call it as instance, and inside that instance, we are going to execute the Linux commands. Okay, so this is what we are going to. This is the flow we are going to follow. First AWS, then Linux, then DevOps. Okay, fine. So let's start the introduction part of cloud computing. So what is cloud computing? Okay, so basically cloud computing is nothing but it's a on-demand delivery of IT resources. Okay, on-demand delivery of IT resources. For example, uh, okay, let me take an example so that you guys can understand. So one second. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are launching a company. Okay. You guys have a you have a dream idea. Okay. You have an idea and you want to launch your own company. Okay, for that reason, okay, that is the company is a e-commerce website. Okay, like Amazon, Flipkart, you have a company you want to launch. Now for that, you need a website, right? In order to run that website, you need servers. Okay, so servers. So where you can where exactly you can host your server. Okay, where exactly you can host your website. You can buy some physical infrastructure, and you can install that physical infrastructure, and you can install the applications and all, and you can make your website up and running, right? now Now physical servers, what comes with the physical infrastructure? These are some of the points with physical infrastructure. Okay, first of all, we need to buy that servers, right? We need to buy high expensive infrastructure, right? Okay, we need to buy high expensive configuration servers. So that is one of the drawback. Okay, we need to spend a lot of money here, right? In order to buy the expensive configuration servers. That is the one thing. Second thing, we need to set up the infrastructure, right? We need to set up the infrastructure. Set up the infrastructure means, see, we need to hire an engineer. They'll be coming. They'll be coming to our office. They'll be setting up the rack and all. They have to they will be installing the server. They will be installing the operating system, the patches, antivirus softwares, patches and all, right? So setting up the infrastructure is again a very huge task, right? That is that is one of the next step which is involved in setting up the physical infrastructure. Okay, now we need to buy softwares, right? What are the softwares which are required for running our web server? Okay, that we need to buy. Again, cost is involved, right? So that is one more thing. Now what is the next thing? We need to buy and set up network equipment, right? See, in order to set up any company, okay, we need to set up the networking equipment as well, right? Because without networking, like no company will operate, right? So networking equipment has to be bought, it has to be set up, and it has to be maintained, right? Now in order to do all these things, we need to hire some people, right? Okay, we need to hire, okay, we need to hire qualified engineers, right? In order to maintain these servers and networking equipment, we need to hire qualified engineers who can work on these things. Okay, and we need to pay like very huge salaries and all, right? So all these things, okay, again, apart from these things, electricity, okay, electricity and air conditioning, right? Air conditioning. So all these things comes under physical infrastructure setup. Lot of money, lot of investment is involved in this setup, right? A lot of people will be involved in this setup and all, right? So these are the drawbacks of maintaining the physical infrastructure. Now no company wants to invest this much when they're trying to launch a new product, because they don't know whether that product will be a hit or it will be a loss, right? So they can't invest this much of amount while setting up a new organization. So what they are doing, okay, we have something called cloud computing in the market. Okay, cloud computing is nothing but on demand delivery of IT resources. On demand delivery of IT resources means what? There are like providers in the market like AWS from Amazon Web Services. Microsoft is having their own cloud services, okay, called Microsoft Azure, and Google is having its own uh, uh, cloud services called GCP. Okay, so these companies are providing us the infrastructure, okay, on cloud platform. So what is cloud platform? We can connect, we can launch our infrastructure on internet, okay, and we can start connecting to those servers and we can start working on them. Okay, clear, right? What is cloud computing actually? So basically, so AWS is providing us whatever the requirement we have. Okay, what are the requirement, what are the infrastructure requirement we have, we can use AWS and we can set up our infrastructure, that too at a very good pricing model. Okay, what are the investment we are doing here in physical infrastructure setup, when compared to that, AWS is providing a very good pricing model. Okay, so basically AWS is using a concept called pay per go concept. Okay, pay per go. Let me write it here. Pay per go. Okay, pay per go means what are the, what, for example, you have launched a server. If you have used for 1 hour, you have to you have to pay for 1 hour. Okay, so like that you have to, whatever the time consuming you are, okay, whatever the time the server is consuming, okay, you have to pay for that time only. Clear it? Now AWS promises that our data is very safe. Okay, AWS promises that our data is very safe, and whatever happens, okay, whatever the data is lost, AWS is providing us the assurance that it will, recover the data and it will give us to, it will give back to us. Okay, so what are the things which I have mentioned here in the like in the diagram and all? So the same points I have written here. Okay, so drawbacks of physical setup is we need to buy high expensive infrastructure. Okay, and based on the traffic. Okay, for example, if we have our website running and our traffic is high, we need to expand our server, right? We need to expand our server means we need to expand the configuration of our server. We need to install new RAM, new hard disk and all, right? So that is again investment. So that is one of the drawback. Okay, now we do hire qualified person and all. We have discussed all these things. So cloud computing, as I told you, cloud computing is nothing but it's a on-demand delivery of IT resources. Okay, so whatever the requirement you have, for example, if you want to launch one server, you can launch one server. If you want to launch 100 servers, you can launch 100 servers, that too within 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I'll show you that. That too within 2 or 3 minutes, you can launch 100 servers in AWS or Azure. Okay, so that is the advantage of using cloud computing. It's quick, it's fast, it's cheaper. Okay, so that's the advantage of using cloud computing. Now, three demands here. Okay, see three important things. On demand. For example, just now I told you, right? If you have a requirement of 10 servers, you can launch 10 servers. If you have thousand servers required, you can launch 1,000 servers. Okay, on demand. Whatever the demand is there, the demand will be fulfilled by the cloud service. Okay, cloud computing. Now scalable. Okay, the existing servers, you have one server. Okay, and based on the traffic, for example, you have a sale. Okay, there is a sale on your website. Sale means like mobile sale. Okay, some new mobile is getting launched on your website and there is a huge sale, and people are going to, you are expecting that a huge load or huge people are going to visit your website. Now what do you want? The existing server, you know that the existing server cannot handle that kind of load. So what you can do, you can scale it up. Okay, you can scale it up means you can increase the configuration of the existing servers. Okay, scalable means you can increase or decrease the existing configuration of the servers. Okay, based on the requirement. Okay, that's the advantage, that's the option cloud computing is providing. Okay, pay only for the capacity use. Okay, I told you, right? For example, if you're using for 1 hour, you have to pay for 1 hour. You don't have to pay for the entire day. Okay, if you're using for 1 minute, you have to pay for 1 minute, that's it. Okay, so that's the most important advantages of the cloud compute. Understood, right? Got any doubts or something, you can ask. Okay, yeah, so whatever I have just told you, so less expenditure when compared to the physical infrastructure. When compared with the physical infrastructure setup, cloud computing is less, I mean, with respect cost, it is less expenditure. Okay, less manpower required to maintain. See, in physical infrastructure, you have to, first you need to hire a server admin, network admin, IT admin, system admin, right? All these guys will be coming into the physical infrastructure setup. Whereas coming to cloud computing, uh, uh, AWS certification, okay, AWS certified engineer is enough to maintain your infrastructure. Okay, so less manpower when compared to the physical infrastructure setup. Cheaper in cost. Okay, what are the cost is which is involved in physical infrastructure setup? When compared to that, AWS is having a very cheaper model. Okay, reliable. AWS provides the assurance that there is the data loss will be nil. Okay, and if there is a data loss, AWS is going to pay you back. Okay, so which means that it's a reliable technology. Okay, latest technology, whatever the latest operating system, latest infrastructure, all these things are available in the cloud computing, because these cloud computing service providers, they upgrade themselves from time to time. Okay, supports various environments, Linux, Windows. Okay, and very recently they have launched Mac as well. Okay, you can launch Mac operating system machines in AWS. Okay, so it supports various environments in uh, for various operating systems. Okay, advanced features. So there are like certain services in AWS which provides the advanced features which is not available in the physical infrastructure setup. Okay, now, so these are the some of the these are some cloud service providers available in the current market. Okay, we are learning Amazon Web Services, which is AWS. Okay, GCP from Google. Okay, Microsoft Azure from Microsoft. IBM is having its own service, cloud service, okay, which is IBM Cloud. DigitalOcean, very famous in US. Rackspace, VMware have its own cloud service. Okay, Terremark, Joint. Okay, in China we have something called Alibaba Cloud. Okay, and like that we have very recently Dell has introduced their own cloud service. Okay, it is Dell Cloud. Okay, so these are some of the famous and most widely used cloud service providers in the market. Now this slide, see here, this slide was taken in Q3. Okay, third quarter of 2019. In this particular quarter, AWS is having 39% of market share in the entire cloud market. Okay, in the entire cloud market, AWS is having 39% of market share. Okay, when compared to others. Okay, so Azure is the next one is Azure, which is having 19. See the others. Others is having 21% combined together, and even that is overtaken by AWS. Okay, others are combined together and it is 21%. Even then, AWS is having a very good margin. Okay, so which means that AWS is far ahead with when compared to the other service providers. Okay, now AWS certifications. So see here in AWS we have certifications, guys. If you want to become a professional, okay, if you want to become a certified AWS cloud engineer, you can do these certifications. So the first one is cloud practitioner. You have to start with this one. Okay, and if you want to become a DevOps engineer, you can go in two ways. Either you can start cloud practitioner program, then you can do sysops administrator for operations, and you can do DevOps engineer. Or else, if you are good with developing, if you have a developing background, you can go ahead with developer, then you can go with DevOps engineer. Okay, so this is the way you can become a DevOps engineer if you want to be a DevOps engineer certified person. Okay, so there are two ways. It's up to you whether you want to do your certification or not. Okay, so any doubts until now? And apart from these certifications, we have solution architect. Okay, and this is like advanced networking, big data, the other certifications. Okay, so with this we'll complete our class for today, and we'll see the next part. Okay, how exactly AWS works and what are the different regions, what are the different services which is being provided by the AWS in the next class, which is tomorrow at 7 a.m. Okay, so do you guys have any doubts with respect to today's class? Any doubts, guys? Understood the theory part? just a basic understanding why exactly we need cloud computing and all. Okay, we haven't entered into the DevOps until now. Okay, it will take some time. We need to complete Linux first, then we can start our DevOps tools. So understood, right? So this today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, right? So tomorrow also, like, new few people will be joining, and for them also I'll be taking a little bit of introduction with the DevOps, and again we'll continue our cloud computing class. Okay, so just bear for this week, and from Monday onwards we can start completely. Okay, full-fledged DevOps curriculum will be started. Okay, any doubts until now? No doubts? So you guys can talk to the DurgaSoft management, and if required you can find this video, this recording of this particular session in the Google Drive. Okay, they'll provide you the link, and they will add your email ID to the access list, then you can access the videos. Okay, fine. So that's it, right? So what I will do, I'll conclude this call for today. Let's catch up tomorrow at 7 a.m. Okay, and we'll see the rest of the part of cloud computing. Okay, thank you so much for joining, guys, and have a great day.